Hey, good evening, Tahoma. This is Terry Duty, principal of Tahoma High School, live from Tahoma High School. And we've got our ASB president, Makai Owens, and our ASB vice president, Brady, a man in the hat here joining me. So we're going to talk a little bit about open house, talk about some things coming up. But right now, I want to plug anybody that's watching. If you have questions, put them in the comments, and we'll respond to the questions throughout the show tonight. We also have Mr. Davis backstage and Miss Van Homison backstage, and they're going to join us live as well. So if you have athletic questions, activities questions, school questions, ASB questions, we've got you covered tonight. I'm honored, man. I've got two AP scholars here with me that were honored yesterday as we recognized 121 AP scholars at Tahoma, and both Makai and Brady are AP scholars. So congratulations to you guys. What do you have to say about that?
Just got to pat myself on the back. Worked so ridiculously hard. No, actually, those tests were a little difficult. But it's nice to get some recognition. Just happy to see all of my fellow scholars over at Tahoma. I know everybody worked really hard, so I'm glad.
Yeah, and I will say there's nothing like the feeling of being AP scholar with your brother Makai.
Oh,
There you go. We had 121 AP scholars, which is actually 20 more than we had last year. And when you consider COVID and just everything that happened last spring and not even knowing how we were going to do tests, the fact that our numbers are actually even higher and we did better, that's a testament to the students of Tahoma and just sticking with it and not giving up and doing a great job. So I know that's a question that's out there is what's AP look like this year? Where are we headed with AP? And right now, the College Board, and that's who does AP, they haven't announced yet when the tests are going to be. Are they going to be live? Are they going to be like last year, virtual? So we're kind of waiting to see where that lands and to see what we do. And of course, with our quarter system, we know people are nervous about that. If they're first quarter, third quarter, or second quarter, fourth quarter, and how that lies with AP. But we're going to get there. We're going to get there together, just like we did last spring. We didn't even have school after March 13th. So appreciate you guys' attitude. Congratulations with that. I do want to, that was a neat thing. And look on Facebook, we recognize all of our students that were AP scholars. But today we had 25 students of the quarter. And it was so cool. We did it Zoom. We had over 87 people, teachers, parents. We even had grandparents recognizing those students of the quarter. So it was a neat event. And for me to see the smiles on the faces of those kids receiving those awards, it just did my heart good just to finally see kids again. Thanksgiving week next week. What are you guys thankful for?
Oh, wow. I'd say probably super thankful for getting through the school year. It's been rough on everybody, but I know I got my little bubble, my little group of people. We call ourselves, little breakfast club. But just banding together, getting all of our work done and stuff like that. I just feel I'm happy to have, even during this time, that kind of community, I guess.
Cool, Makai. Thank you. How about you, Brady?
I would say I'm very thankful for how hard the teachers have been working during this time. There's definitely a lot more stress put on them, having to switch from a in-person to an online instructing environment, and so it's kind of great to see them working so hard for us students and seeing their commitment to bettering our learning.
I know they show that right back to our students. You guys have been amazing, and our level of commitment from our students, from our teachers, our parents. This is not an easy time, and it's been really refreshing to see how when we come together, how that we give each other grace and we do a really nice job in through that. We're not perfect, and we're all doing our best job. Our students, our parents, our teachers, principals. We're trying our best. That's for sure. Hey, before we bring on Mr. Davis, do you guys have any questions that's rolling around in your mind that I could answer from school administration standpoint, principal standpoint?
Oh, of course. I mean, just talking with students, everybody. The biggest question, it's the elephant in the room all the time. When are we getting back in school? We want to know about sports. We want to know about just getting back into things. If you have any information about when we can be in the building, when sports are starting, which I know would be more of a question for Mr. Davis, but any of that kind of general information.
Yeah, let me, obviously I don't know, and if I did, we'd be sharing, but I can share kind of some of the planning that's going in. We were getting really close. The contagious rates in King County had dropped below 75. Sports were ready to go. We had our activities and clubs ready to go. And then all of a sudden they started going back up again. So then they stopped the elementary go back, which was October 19th, and we were scheduled right behind that to go back into a hybrid. But it's funny you asked. Just today, I met with a principal over in Spokane at Meade. It's actually Mount Spokane and Meade that we met. And I talked, because they're doing a hybrid right now, and they are actually going to school. It's super complicated. They get somebody that is contagious, and then all of a sudden 20 people can't go to school. So they're kind of going in, they're going out, but they're doing a hybrid model. Some kids are at home doing Zoom, watching their teachers at school. They've got the lunchroom set up with no tables, and they're all set up in rows, and they have like an assigned seat to have lunch at, just in case something happens. They know, okay, number 50 was sitting by number 51 and 52, so you got to get a hold of 51 and 52 because they shouldn't come to school the next day. Every teacher has a seating chart just in case something breaks out in a classroom, and they have had some of that. One of the schools over in the Spokane area had to shut down today. It's complicated, but we're working on a plan. In fact, there'll be a chance for you guys to get involved in a committee to look at what that's going to look like. I'm hopeful. It's not going to be until after the start of second semester, that's for sure, because the school board committed to that. But sometime from January on, watching those contagious rates, and the vaccines look really promising right now. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news, but there are 2 companies that are over 90% efficacy rates. And if we can get the people vaccinated that are the highest, most at risk, then things start loosening up. So I'm very hopeful that we're going to be back in the spring for sure. Does that answer your question, Makai?
Yeah.
Okay.
We did a good job.
Anything else, guys?
We have some questions rolling in from the comment section. We got one from Hillary Willis saying, what are the options for students who are overwhelmed and want to waive a graduation elective credit? And then what is the process for this?
So great question, Hillary. There is some options with waiving some credits this year. Talk to your counselor. So go directly to your counselor. Let's see if we can make schedule adjustments right now and get you in a spot where you're feeling good about your classes and where you are. But we do have a little bit of play with graduation credits with where we are. And everybody's different. Everybody's caseload is a little bit different. But get on the horn tomorrow and talk to your counselors, and let's see what we can do. Hopefully that helps. Hey, while we're waiting for a few more questions, let me talk about open house. That kicks off tomorrow night. And the way open house works, just like we did first quarter, is at 6:30 tomorrow night, there'll be a live broadcast talking about financial aid and how to apply to colleges and get that scholarship money and financial aid money. So tune in 6:30 tomorrow night. We've got a person from financial aid offices talking with us. Then all the teachers' videos go live. And so every class, teachers are going to be talking about what they're doing in the class, what the curriculum is, just to get the parents up to speed with what their kids are doing, what the expectations are, where they're headed. So tomorrow officially kicks off our open house for quarter 2. So we're hopeful. We put a lot of work into that. Tune in, take a look at your kids' schedules, and look at those 4 teachers. So other questions that have come in before we go to Mr. Davis?
Yeah, we got a couple more rolling in from the chat. One from Marcy Brown saying, will THS be proactive and change the second semester schedule just in case College Board does not change the test dates? And why would we not rearrange students could take AP classes during the third quarter?
Marcy, basically because it's super complicated. Students are taking 4 classes, and if we move students from fourth quarter into third quarter classes, that means they have to drop one of their third quarter classes. And typically our AP kids have a complicated schedule. They're not just taking 1 AP class, they're taking 2. It might not be an AP, it might be a college class. So then it starts impacting their entire schedule, and then it impacts the entire teacher schedule and then the school schedule. So we were hopeful that we could do some of that, switching in and out. And right now, we honestly couldn't say, is third quarter better or fourth quarter better? Because College Board hasn't said when the test will be. there's a chance that it's going to be later in May, which would make fourth quarter a really sweet spot for it. But there's just not a lot of wiggle room within a schedule when a student only has 4 classes and the teacher is teaching 3. So it's not like an 8-period class where you have a lot of flexibility. Hope that helps, Marcy. Other questions?
Then we got one more before we roll into Mr. Davis. This one's from Elizabeth Perry saying, is there any plan to adjust the workload? Teachers have been great, but we are really struggling with the volume. Even reducing the number of Zoom sessions would really help.
Yeah, we're doing more of an informal way rather than have one day like some schools are doing. We're asking teachers to do a student support day once a week, once every 2 weeks, which means you're taking 4 classes and the teacher might say, this is the day we're going to get caught up. But the teacher's still going to be live. The teacher's going to be checking in with students, talking it through. So you might go into like 30 different breakout rooms if you had 30 in the class and say, just go to work, get caught up, spend this time, no new learning today. So it'll space it out rather than having it all in one day. It might be you get one on Monday, you get another one on Wednesday. There might be one on a Thursday. And then we do also have some asynchronous days built in with teachers. But we're going to try that model of allowing teachers to do a no new learning day, which we're calling a student support day.
All right.
We're welcome to take more questions, guys. We sure appreciate what you're putting in there, and we're here for you. Let's bring Mr. Davis on to talk about where we are with our sports programs.
Good evening. Doesn't seem like it was that long ago that we were doing this, and boy, things have certainly changed over that period of time. And we worked hard to get our athletes a chance to end activities back out on the field. We made a proposal to the school board to create opportunities for coaches and advisors to start working with kids again, and it was approved, and everybody was feeling really good about it. And kind of like Mr. Duty was talking about, our case numbers have literally tripled over that time to the point where we had to shut things down. And every coach and advisor is at the same level of disappointment that you guys are at. And so as soon as we get a chance to get back on the field or get back with your clubs, we'll make that happen. But, you know, the folks that are listening, you guys can help us with that. You know, mask up, keep the social distance. And I know that's tough during the holidays. It's not a PSA for all the safe distancing thing, but we need everybody to be a part of solving this. And, you know, I'm looking at Mackay and Brady, seniors in high school, and everybody can play a role in getting them back in this building and trying to get them back to normal. They deserve that, and we want that for them. So let's work together to make that happen. And if it means sometimes maybe you got to, you know, give up something that you're used to having, or have a difficult conversation with somebody that can help these guys have their senior year of high school, I'll tell you what, I bet you they believe it's worth it. So help us with that. So sports-wise, we were in what's called a hands-on period where we were allowed coaches, when I say we, and activities, the way the proposal was put together, that we were going to have the opportunity to meet with kids. And it would have started off in small groups, generally speaking about a size of 6, plus the advisor or coach, with the spacing and those other guidelines that we're following. That's what we had to shut down. So we're hoping that we can make the numbers work and we can get back with that. And basically the seasons, the thing that we talked about last time, the first season originally would have been, we'd be playing right now if we started the school year. But when things got pushed back, it was December 28th was going to be the beginning of fall sports. Well, yesterday, and some of you probably saw this, that the WIA adjusted the sports seasons again. And so that first season is scheduled to start on January 23rd. So that hands-on period, the period where coaches can work with kids, has actually been extended to mid-December, to early January. It's January 23rd. I just mixed up my dates. The January 23rd is that period of time when coaches will be allowed to work with kids. And then the first season start date has been adjusted to February 1st. So those will be our traditional winter sports, like basketball, boys basketball, girls basketball, wrestling, gymnastics. Gymnastics, actually, because of the number of practices that are required, they actually can start a little bit earlier. They'll actually be starting on the 25th of January. And again, they have a more extensive practice requirement that they have to meet. So that's that first season. Like I said, so that's basketball, gymnastics, swim and dive for the boys, and for wrestling as well. So there's some requirements that have to be met to make that happen, but that's the new start date. Roughly looking at February 1st, aligns with the start of the second semester. And the direction that things seem to be heading is there's a possibility that maybe we start school a little bit later than that, but still have the possibility of going out and practicing and competing. So just because we're not in school, not a done deal, but just because we're not in school doesn't mean that we won't be able to practice and compete and get back to as close to normal as we can get. So that's the first season. Second season would be the traditional fall sports, the ones that we normally would have started the school year with. So that list would be cross country, football, the girls soccer, girls swim and dive, volleyball, and golf and tennis. So they're scheduled to start March 15th. So that's pretty close to where we had talked about before when we had this. The thing that's a little bit is to squeeze 3 seasons in a shorter period of time. The length of the season has been shortened. So there won't be the opportunity to have as many weekends to play. The number of games may stay the same depending on the sport, but we just have to squeeze them into a shorter period of time. Okay, so March 15th would be the start of those traditional fall sports. April 26th would be the start of what traditionally had been our spring sports. We're really working hard to make that happen. It was actually just absolutely heartbreaking to lose spring sports last year, and to really doing anything we can to make sure that that doesn't happen for a second year in a row for that group of athletes. So April 26th, that's baseball, fast pitch, boys soccer, tennis, and track and field. They get those young men and women an opportunity to get out on the field. So that's probably, this change in the schedule just came out yesterday. So as athletic directors around the state, the WI, we're still working right now to, how's this going to look now? What kind of schedule adjustments need to be made? How will this fit? What can we get some adjustments in the Department of Health requirements? And there's data that's coming in that's telling us that more and more that athletes aren't spreading the virus. And so we're really working hard to take that data from around the country and encourage our folks in Washington in a positive way, in messages to the governor, Department of Health, anyone that is in a position to help us with this. We know that a lot of our young folks are struggling, and that we want to get back to normal, whether it's robotics, whether it's band, choir, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, all those things. We want to get back to what you guys are used to. And like I said when I first started, is your senior year and trying to make that special, that thing that you talk about 25 years down the road when you have your reunion. We're aware of that. All the adults involved in this, we're very aware of that, and we're working as hard as we can to make that happen for you. So I'm going to hit the pause button there and see if I can answer any questions for you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Davis. Looks like we have more just general logistics questions coming in rather than any sports ones.
Just want to echo what Mr. Davis said. I think we're going to have a great spring, and I think things are coming around. We have to behave ourselves now. We got to hunker down a little bit, get a little closer to that vaccine and some of that research that's coming out. But we're going to be back, and we're going to be back strong and have a great senior year. But it's going to take all of us together. So I echo what you said, Mr. Davis. We're all missing kids and missing the smiles. But thanks for all your hard work. You've been working really hard, I know. Let's roll in Ms. Van Homesen then.
Hello, everyone.
Howdy.
Hi.
I'm happy to be here.
Hi.
I wish that I could say, well, activities are up and running, but I have to follow what Davis just said about we've been working hard on getting a schedule figured out for athletics, and we mirrored that with activities and clubs. And in light of all the new restrictions and the numbers spiking, that shifted our process or our plan a little bit. But we do have some exciting things that are going on right now. I'd love to share those at this point. We have a live concert. It's our second in our series next week on Tuesday during Power Hour. It's with Timmy Brown. He's a country artist from the East Coast. And then right after Thanksgiving, we're kicking off our gift drive, which actually will go to every school in our district. And there's going to be a truck parked at the high school, and then it'll move to Summit Trail, then it'll move to MVMS, and then it'll end at the elementary schools picking up all of their donations. And so it's really a Tahoma-wide gift drive, which I just think is super cool. We also have a new program that's going to happen called the 10 Days of Giveaways, and there'll be a lot more information coming up for our students at the high school. And the only thing you have to do to be part of it is be enrolled in our school.
That's so easy.
Good to go.
We're even going to do special deliveries to people's houses with some gifts. We've got a cool plan for December. I'm pumped up about it.
Yeah, December is jam-packed. We've got student council, we've got freshman elections, we've got a talent show, we have the concert next week, the gift drive, the 10 days of giveaway. November and December suddenly became just event-filled. We also have clubs that are happening every single week during Power Hour and after school. And all of their links and things are on the website. And it's really been cool to see how our clubs have adapted and shifted, especially our service-oriented clubs that can't meet in person anymore. So we've got a lot of things going on.
We sure appreciate your work too. You've worked really hard to keep our kids engaged, and you got two of your finest right here joining us tonight, president and vice president. So appreciate all of that work. Anybody have any activities questions out there? Doesn't look like we got anything rolling in, which is just fine. You were very thorough, Kristen. Thank you. Well, let's wrap it up. Folks have been real patient in joining us tonight. Is there any more questions that we have out there just in general, and then we can wrap up and get ready for open house?
Oh yeah, from Brian Johnson, we have, if I have AP classes in quarters 1 and 3, how will I be able to take the test to the same accuracy as those who have class in 2 and 4? And then what would the time gap from the classes to the test?
Kind of hit that earlier. The AP hasn't come out yet with timing of the test. They haven't come out with, are they going to be live? Are they going to be virtual like they were last year? Are they going to be on the same schedule, or are they going to be later like they were last year? This is a nationwide pandemic, and AP is going to adjust to that. We did really good last year, considering that we just stopped all classes on March 13th. So I'm anticipating that we're going to do good. That the holes aren't going to be as big as you might think, because we are meeting every day. If the tests are later in May, which we think there's going to be that option, I think fourth quarter might have an advantage over third quarter, even though they won't get all the way through fourth quarter. But we've got ways to at least offer the content. It's not a perfect system, but it's a system for every kid at school, not just AP. So we're going to do the best we can. I know you've got amazing teachers that are trying to find ways to help you out. So we'll get there, and we got there last year. I feel good about this year too. So just relax until we know more, I guess, would be the quick message. Anything else out there?
Yes, we have this question. It's about credits. So can you explain why Tahoma has a 29 credit diploma when the state requires 24? It seems to be 10 extra classes of electives, which doesn't seem to increase rigor.
Well, that was a big decision that we made, community made, to offer elective programs to our students. And that was around offering an 8-period day. And when you look at the array of classes that we're able to offer students at Tahoma, nobody has the classes that we have at Tahoma High School. I go anywhere you want, and they won't be the offerings or the ability to take those level of classes. So with an 8-period, that means students have the chance to take 32 different classes in their 4 years of high school, plus classes that can be rolled up from junior high. So we've adjusted from the 32 possible credits to a 29 at graduation. That's where that 29 number comes from. In other words, you could drop 3 classes, you could fail some classes. It gives a little bit of buffer in there. I think right now the question is like, can we back that off? And we didn't change our schedule. Students are still taking 8 classes. It's an accelerated quarter system, but it's still the same exact amount of time. from quarters to if we did the every other day like a blue gold. So that's our system, and it was brought in so students could take band and world language and AP classes and robotics and shop and auto and have all of those possibilities. So we expanded those options, and maybe it doesn't fit for everybody, but I sure think it's pretty awesome, the classes that our kids get to take. It's a little tougher right now, obviously, during COVID. Hopefully that answers your questions. I'm always available by email. Again, financial aid tomorrow night, 6:30 to 7, if you want to learn a little bit more about that and getting ready for college. We're going to come out of this, everybody, and we need to be ready for it. Join in with open house, see what's going on with those teachers' classes, those amazing classes that I was talking about. Thank a teacher, thank a parent, thank a student for coming together and doing the right thing. Sure appreciate everybody. Makai, any last words? Brady?
Thanks so much for having me. As always, always enjoy coming up here, showing my beautiful face. For all the students out there, feel free to contact me. There's a couple ways. A lot of people usually know where to find me. And then just summarizing the points, we had some amazing logistics questions. AP, we don't know too much about. We're helping out to get back in school. And for the sports dates, January 23rd for our hands-on coaches, February 1st for our first winter season start date, March 15th for our fall season start date, April 26th for our spring season. And depending on what sport you are in, like gymnastics, they're starting a little sooner than that. And just to wrap it up, thanks so much for having me again. That's it from me.
For me, I will say that I hope that all of you stay optimistic and you try to find best and little things during this time. We all are going through this difficult time together, and it definitely helps to think that we all can be together as a community, even when a pandemic hits us hard.
All right, and I'm just going to say we're better together. Go Bears. Good night, everybody.